Hello there, Ed Newman here. I'm going to tell you a little bit about sports bonus collecting using a system called OddsFlex. This is only for U.S. residents. There are some other countries that are allowed, such as Costa Rica and I think either Thailand or the Philippines, but it's not really offered too much in other countries. A lot of the other countries allow you to sign up, but they don't give you the deposit bonuses, which is what we want to focus on. So if you're not a U.S. resident, probably not a good idea. I used to be a full-time Amazon FBA seller, but I've had this as a way to earn in case any of these shutdowns that have been going around. I've been earning full-time online since 2012, and this is the easiest way to earn online I have ever seen. You don't have to refer any people unless you want to. There's no selling. If you do the work, you will earn. There's a very low chance of failure in this. Basically, if you just put in the effort, follow the training, and do what it tells you, you're going to make money. There's no way really not to make money. So what is this? It's about sports betting, but as opposed to like betting on the Giants or something like that, what we're doing is, let's say the Giants are playing the Eagles. We would bet one sports book on the Giants and the other sports book on the Eagles so that we're not going to lose. And we use software that finds the best lines in these games, so we're not paying the 10% VIG that you would normally pay. 10% VIG is a fee that you're paying for using a betting site. So we're not gambling because we're betting both sides, and there's no way for us to lose betting the main sports. There are some tricks in soccer and some other things you have to be careful of, but we only bet on games like in the NFL, college football, the NBA, college basketball, Major League Baseball, and UFC. You don't have to know anything about sports to do this. I didn't. It's actually better that you don't know anything about sports, because then you just follow what the software tells you to do and you don't bring in your own thoughts saying, hey, the Giants should lose to the Eagles every time they play. You gotta go with what the software says, not what your mind says. And that's why not knowing anything about sports is actually a fairly big advantage. All right, let me show you what some example of my bets that I made yesterday. Again, we're betting. Let's see, what am I looking at for? Okay, here we go. So yesterday I made $288. I think I didn't describe probably what the key to this whole thing is. Yeah, let me come back to this. You don't have to know anything about past 2 months. Oh, for the past 2 months, what's total? We'll come back to the yesterday. I'll just show you my results for the past 2 months. This is March. It's a total of $3,200 so far. This is a smaller month than last month. Let's go to February. February is a $6,100 month. And then if we go to the dashboard, we can go to monthly, and we can go to all time. I started this in September 2024, and since then I've made $20,356 profit. As you can see, all the months were pretty good except for December and January, and those were mainly because I didn't have a lot of money in there. I do Amazon, and that's my full source of income, and Amazon was down, so I ended up having to use my profits, that I made here to pay my bills. So I didn't have the money to do the betting. Let's see. I'll just show you when I started. September 2024. See, I basically bought the course right here. I went through the training and then I started betting here. And it was a fairly, $2,700 in my first basically week and a day or so of doing the thing. Let's see. I just said something at the top of my mind, but I just lost it. Oh, let's go back to the sweat station. You'll see that there's some red days along here. Typically the red days are going to be much less than the green days. And why that is because you have to make bets in the books in order to clear out one of the books so you can get a deposit bonus. And that's what this whole thing is all about. It's about betting one book against another and losing. No matter how you do, one book's going to lose. I mean, occasionally there'll be a tie. If there is a tie, then your bets are refunded. So it's just basically a wasted bet. But one team is going to lose and one team is going to lose, and you want the team to lose out of the book that you could get the biggest bonus from. As we'll discuss here. See the link in the video chat. Okay, I have a link so you can see other people's results. It's going to be in the description of this video. So you got to deposit to at least 2 sportsbooks and collect the first time bonuses up to 200%. So what that means is if you deposit $100, they're going to give you $200 and you have $300 there. Now, that all sounds fine and dandy, but you can't just now go and withdraw your $300. The books that give you bonuses, they have what's called a rollover. That means you have to bet something a specific amount of times. It usually ranges anywhere from 2 times to 20 times. Usually the bigger the bonus, the more times you have to bet it. But the key to what we want to do is we want to lose the money out of that book, and we want to win it into a book that does not have a bonus. A book that does not have a bonus, any money that you win into that book, you can just immediately withdraw. So what you do is you win into the what we call a win into book. You withdraw from that, put it back into the other book, get a new deposit bonus, and you just keep doing that over and over and over again. The more bonus books you have, the better. I have about 10 bonus books right now. So you're betting 2 sportsbooks against each other. One has to lose. When you zero a sportsbook, reload and get a deposit bonus from 25% to 100%, depending on which sportsbook it is. Certainly you would prefer to lose out of the one that has a 100% bonus. Let me show you what a low hold looks like. Okay, so you come over here and you go to the low hold screen, and more games here. There we go. Now you can see this is the percent you're actually going to lose, because we're not doing a positive arbitrage. I'll talk to you about positive arbitrage in a minute. But these are what you're just trying to do is you're not worrying about this. You typically go up to like 2%. But these are all the bets that you could make. And you would choose you set up the sports books in here that you have, and so it's only going to show you bets in the books that you have. You want to have probably around, to start with, probably 4 books, 1 or 2 no bonus books, and at least 2 bonus books, because the bonus books is where you're going to make the money. And so what you do is you're making this bet here. Let's just go on a point spread. It's easier to do a point spread than it is to do player props. But that was player points. So here you're just choosing the Philadelphia 76ers plus 10.5. You're betting that in this book, and you're betting Atlanta Hawks in this book. Now every book is different on how you bet it, and the training goes into covering how you do that in each one of the books and what the books look like. It does take a little bit of learning to learn each book, because each book is different. But basically you would bet these 2 in these 2 different books, and you're going to lose 0. But the key is, let's say this is the book here that's going to give you a 100% deposit bonus. If you lose out of here, then that's good. Now this is not an example of a good book, because when you want to lose out of a book, you want to use like a minus line like here. So if this is the book that had a good deposit bonus on here, minus 160, plus 159 is the book this is what's called the underdog when it's a plus. So this team is more likely to win. Doesn't mean it's going to win, but it's more likely to win. And that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to zero this book so you can redeposit in this book and make more money. And you get, the more deposit bonuses you got going. If you got 10 deposit books, if you zero 1 or 2 a day, then you can start making 100, 200, 300, 400, etc. dollars a day, depending on which books you clear. All right, let's get back to here. Show the OJ. Let me show the ARBs. So the ARBs are going to be less of them. This is actually not too bad for right now. So you could do the same thing now using the ARBs where you're actually making. So like for instance, if you bet $100 in this book and 80, it's going to tell you can change this to anything you want. Let's say you want to make this. Say you wanted to bet $500. So if you put 500 in here, then it's going to tell you to bet 450, and this is FanDuel, and this is Jazz. So if you bet 500 in this and you're making $22, and that's better than losing money. But the point of this course is not to make money by doing arbitrage. You can see how much money it would take to do stuff throughout the a day. You'd have to have thousands and thousands of dollars to make like $100 there. But it's still money. It's money you can't lose. And if you do have money at the end of the day, it's always good to get it invested. It's always good to have your entire bankroll in play every day, because that's the best way to make money. And also, we don't do anything with positive EV. That's just part of the software here. It's a popular thing in the industry. We don't use it though. There's two types. So we all do international. International is what I basically just showed you. If you live in the U.S. and you live in a state that allows domestic books like FanDuel or DraftKings, you can make some quick extra cash. But these are only one-time bonuses. Once you make these bonuses, they rarely offer you any other bonuses, where the internationals offer you on every deposit. And that's the key. You got to be able to make money on every deposit. You can't just make one deposit and make some money and then be done. Domestic varies dramatically by state. Some states like California have no sports book. Florida has one sports book. New Jersey, I think we have 13 here. And like I said, domestic is one-time only. International is ongoing. So we all do international. And like I said, if you can do domestic, that's fine. But you can't live on domestic. Domestic will just get you, a month worth of bonuses or something. Here's like an example of international books. It's this one here is one of the better ones. It gives you the 150 here is, I believe it's a 100 sports and 50 for the casino. We don't do any casino stuff. I don't know if you can see this here, but this site gives you 125% sign-up bonuses for your first 3 deposits. So if you go in there and you deposit 500, they're giving you 625. They're giving you the 500 plus the 625, so that's 1125 for your first 3 deposits. Then this one here is 125%. This is the one that most people use the most. The difference between this 125 and this 125 is a free bet. It's not cash. And so what that means is you have to play it. And the software will find you a bet where typically you can convert it at around 50%. So like I said, you're getting $625 in the free bet. You would convert that around $310 or something like that. Where here, this is 125% cash. So if you deposit $500 in here, you're going to get $1125 in cash, and then you still have to bet it. You have to meet the rollover and all that stuff, but you don't have to convert it. And it's really 125%. Where really this 125 here is really half of that, or it's 60, whatever that is, 62 and a half. So this is a real 125%. Now here's a good one going on now that I've used about 5 times so far. It's like this one. It's giving you free play or a bonus bet, not cash. But this is going to convert it about half of that at about 100%. So you deposit $100, you would have $200 free play. Then when you play it, you'd end up with $200. So basically, it's doubling your money. Not quite as good as this one, but the rollover on this one is easier. That's what all the training goes through. It tells you which books to use, what's the good and the bad of each book. The Facebook group is super important, because whenever new books come out, not new books, but new books that we've brought into the program that the coaches have gone through and tested and found out, what all the idiosyncrasies are and everything. That's all like reported in the Facebook group or on Zoom webinars. We have typically one Zoom webinar a week. Okay, so the cost. The training for this is $997, which includes the first 6 weeks of OddsJam Platinum software. Now, if you go to OddsJam, you'll find they have a version for, I think, $99. They have a version for $199, and there's a couple other versions too. But we need the OddsJam Platinum software, which is $499 a month. That gives us a couple different things. It gives us access to the most international books that you can have. Their global plan gives about half as much as the Platinum plan. It also gives you domestic if you have use for the domestic. But most importantly, it gives you this thing over here, which we need. Here's the sportsbook screen. This just shows you if you pick let's say we pick the NCAA games today, and we pick money line. Oh, I had a filter set. It shows you, all the different books you have and what the lines are, so you could go in there and make up your own bets as opposed to using the converter in the ARB thing. I won't go into detail why you would want to do that now, because you can see this is a much more complicated screen than the others. But this is something you will need. Not on day 1, probably not on day 14, but at some point you're going to need this. So that's part of the Platinum package. So it gives you that in the Platinum software. Also includes lifetime to our Facebook group, which I said is very, very valuable. New books are added with reviews. Roger posts lots of short videos about what he does every day. He sets up all his bets in like 15 minutes in the morning. Calls it his coffee breaker. You can ask questions and see other questions. And like I said, we have the Zoom calls usually once a week. Okay, once you get through your 6 weeks, then you just go to the regular $4.99 a month in OddsJam. There's no other expenses really required for this. Once you start making some money, I would recommend using 3 monitors. It's much easier to see both bets at the same time and the OddsJam software telling you what to do. But it's not needed from the beginning, and some people don't ever use it. But I mean, I'm an Amazon seller. I probably have like 10 different utilities, all having a monthly expense. None of that kind of stuff is needed for this. Just the one $4.99. I'm paying about $1,500 a month just for Amazon software. While the costs can be high, the profits can be amazing, with some in the course profiting up to $60K per month. Scott the trainer made $50K profit in November so far. He hasn't posted anything since he's had a baby, so it's kind of tied him up a little. With this, you bet today and you get paid by the sportsbook in minutes to a week. However, the rollover does still apply here. If you lose out of your book with the bonus and you win it into a non-bonus book, then you can withdraw it and you'll get paid in minutes to a week. If you win into the bonus book, then you got to keep trying to lose out of there. You want to start with small bets like 100. So if that wins the wrong way, then you can bet 200, 400, 800, and so on. Or at some point you don't want to make these bigger bets, so you're gonna have to chop it down to smaller amounts. So one or two things are going to happen. Eventually you're going to lose all your money in that book, or you're going to hit the rollover. When you can hit the rollover, then you can withdraw. I was profitable in a few days. I showed you in the beginning. I took like 2 days to go through the training, and then I was making money on the third day. You do need money to do this. The more money, the better. There's a guy that I referred to that was making $20,000 a month, starting from it was either his first, I think it was his second month, but he had like a 10K bankroll. 4K is a good starting point, but again, the more the better. You're not going to be, even though you have a bankroll of 4K, I'm not saying going in there and making 4K worth of bets, but if you get stuck in that thing that I set up here before with the rollover, you need to have money to bet against that. And actually that happened to me back in, I don't want to go all the way back there again. Back in January, I think it was, where I had a negative month, and that was because I didn't have the money to bet against something. I do Amazon and I do this. That's my main source of income, and Amazon was down big time for me in January, so I had to pull money out of here, and it didn't give me any money to use to bet against it. So that's why having the bigger bankroll is better. You can start with as little as 2K, which covers the training and the software, and enough to make some beginning bets. So that's giving you like 1K to make beginning of bets. There's one lady in the group who only started with $450 to make the bets with, and she's turned that into $20,000. I don't remember how many. It wasn't 1 or 2 months. It was definitely a bunch of months. But as a bonus for joining through my link, you have access to me. I am one of the coaches that they charge $199 an hour for, and you can get me for free whenever you need. So if you're interested in this or you got more questions, just email me at ed@ed-newman.com, or hit me up on Facebook as ed08724. And you can sign up for the course here. When you click on this link, it's going to take you to this page here, and it's currently selling for $7.97, not the $9.97 I said, but they said they're going to be raising that very shortly, so I'm just saying $9.97 in the video, because by the time you see this, it may be $7.97. I don't know what the thing is about taxes. I don't recall getting charged any tax. I was just getting charged the $4.99 a month. So, and I'm in New Jersey, which is a state that has tax, so I don't know what that is. They probably just put it there to cover themselves. This is just a little synopsis of what the Platinum package gives you. Some of the other software doesn't give you live bets. We don't really do live bets, but it's something that some of the people in the group have done. You're able to access the OddsJam coaches. You can get notifications when something that you set up here. You could set something up in low hold here, and then go over here and set a filter, and whenever something meets your criteria, it sends you an email. That's just some of the stuff that the Platinum has that some of the others don't have. That's about it. So, like I said, if you got any questions, email me at ed@ednewman.com or Facebook ed08724. Thanks for watching, and please give me a thumbs up. Thank you.